Hello world, welcome to Cyberteed, and today we are going to see how you can find the divisor till the given number n in most optimal way possible. And this question is asked in TCS Code Vita with the name of Divine Divisor, but it can also be asked anywhere, and you can use this technique to highly improve the complexity of your code. So if you are new to our channel, we make video related to programming, coding, data science and cyber security stuff. So if you are interested in any of them, you can consider subscribing to our channel, and you can hit the like button if you are going to like this video. So without any further ado, let's start. Okay, here you can see the Divine Divisor question, and this question is from TCS Code Vita. This is the Code Vita of 2019 question. This is a very simple question. We have to find all the possible divisor of a given number n, and we have to arrange them in an ascending order. You can read the question here. Given a number n, find all the possible divisor and print them in an increasing order. The thing here is this question is super easy. You can just think of a single loop going till that particular number and checking if the modulus of this number is 0, then you are just going to simply print out that number. But as here you can see the constraint is that the number is very big, and it is 10 to the power 8. So you have to think of something more optimized solution, like you can't go even big of n. Okay, we have to optimize the solution. That what we are going to do now. So let us see some of the sample cases. Here we can see the input is 10 and output is 1, 2, 5 and 10. So we can also just simply go to 1 to 10, but that won't be the most optimal solution. We can also try to go to the half of the number, that is n by 2. We can just go to n by 2, because after n by 2, like after 5, there will be no divisor of 10. And this is just a common truth of math which you can apply here. You can just go to n by 2 of that number and you can get this done, but we are going to optimize it much further. Okay, here we have taken the number 12 and 36 to understand this much better. For 12, the number will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 and 12. For 36, the number that we are going to get is 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 9, 12, 18 and 36. There's a beautiful property out here that can help us reduce this time complexity. First, we are going to go to the square root of the given number. For the case of 12, the square root will be 3.4, and we can go till 4. After 3, the 1 that you get, 1 into 12 is 12, and again 2 into 6 is 12, and 3 into 4 is also 12, which is the given number. So this is the property that we are going to use. As you can see, this also in this example of 36, 1 into 36 we are going to get 36, 2 into 18 we are going to get 36, 3 into 12 also 36, 4 into 9 36, and this 6 into 6 also 36. So what we are going to do, we are just going to go till the square root of the given number. Let's just say for 36 we are just going to go to the square root of 36 is 6, so we are going till 6, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 6. Okay, the square root of 12 is 3.4. We can round off and we can go till 3, and we can get the number 1, 2 and 3. So what after that? After that, we are just going to simply divide that number that we are doing here. Like 36 divided by 1 gives the 36, this number. Then we are going to divide that number by the second number, that is 2. Then it will give the last second number. Then we are going to divide that number with third, and it is going to give this 12, as you can see. And then we are going to divide the given number with 4. 36 divided by 4 is going to give us 9, which is just basically this 9. And then we are going to divide this 36 with 6, but we are going to get 6, which we don't want to include, because we don't want to repeat that number. We want to print that number in an increasing order. So but here is a small catch, or you can say the boundary case. So let me just remove it. The boundary case is that in the case of 12, we can just go 1 2 3 and 4 5 6, but in the case of number having the perfect square, one number will be in the middle, so we have to skip that number. We have to just go 1 2 3 4 and we will get 9 12 14 18 and 36. The first thing that we need to do is to find the perfect square root, that if the number is a perfect square, and we are going to see that in a while. But once we find that the number is a perfect square, we are just going to go one less than all the number that we found by finding the square root, and then we can just simply calculate this. In this case of the 12, as here you can see, we have to go to 1 2 and 3 because none of the numbers are repeating. 1 12 2 6 and 3 4 all are different, but in the case of perfect square we have a repeating number. So what is going to be the logic of our program? So first we are going to find all these number like 1 2 3 4 and 6. Then with this help of these number we are just going to be in reverse order, because we want to print them in ascending order. So we will go from reverse order, we'll go from 9 12 18 and we will finally print 36. So first we are going to insert all this number in a list, then we are going inside the list in a reverse order, and in the case of 36 we won't include this 6, we will just go 1 minus the list length, that is 4. From 4 we will divide it by 36 and we'll get 9 12 18 and 36. So this is basically the approach of our program that we are going to code, and we are going to code in Python. You can also code in your language of your choice. So I hope you understand this algorithm. So now let us just quickly see our code. Okay, now let's just write the code. Okay, here we are. The first thing that we need to do is to just simply take an input, n is equal to int input, as it will be integer. The next thing that we need to do is to find the square root of that number. For finding square root in Python we have to import maths, and we can just simply store it in a root. We can just write math dot square root of n. Then we have to convert this number into an integer, so I'm just storing it in another variable, because our loop cannot iterate to a floating point, so we have to convert this in an integer. And we can just add simply 1, because our loop goes 1 less than that particular given number. So now let us just create our list that we were talking about to store all that starting elements like 1 2 3 in the case of 12. So for I in range, you can say I'm going to start from 1 because 0 won't be there, to a square root of that number. Then what we are going to do, you are going to check if that number modulus I is equal to 0, and if it is, then we are going to just simply append it to our list. We are going to append I, and we can also simply print here I, print I, and is equal to a single space, because we don't want to use an extra loop printing this same thing, which can be done here too. And now here is the thing that we are going to do. We are going to find if the number that we got is a perfect square. So for checking if the number is a perfect square, let's go back to our slide. If the number is a perfect square like this, 36, it will give me a number 6. We are just going to make it round off, and in the case of 12 it will make it 4. Here it will make it 4, and here it will remain 6, and then we are going to subtract it, like 6 minus 6 it will give 0, but here 4 minus 3.4 it won't give 0. So this is the way that we can quickly and easily find if the number that we are given is a perfect square or not. So let us just write it in our code. So if root, which contains the root of our number in decimal point, minus, we can just use maths.floor of root is equal to 0, and if it is so, then we have to start. Then let us go back to our code. Here you can see if it is a perfect square like 36, we have to not take this last number, and in list it will be 0 1 2 3 and 4, and the length will be of 5. So what will be the index of this? It will be 1 2 3 and 4. 0 1 2 3, it will be 3. So what we are going to do, we are just going to subtract 2 from this. So let us do that. We are just going to say the last is equal to len of L minus 2, and else if it is not a perfect square, then we have to just go till the last, which is nothing but len of L minus 1, because as you can see, as you know, that indexing starts from 0 and the count of length starts from 1, so we are just basically subtracting 1 here. So now let us just go through this list L in a reverse order. For that we are going to use J in range. We are going from last. You can just use our variable last till -1. It will stop till 0, and here we are. Now what we have to do, you have to just print and double divide by L of J. We are using double divided by just to convert that number into an integer, not as a floating point, because once we divide a number, it is just going to return it in a floating value in Python. And here we can just print and is equal to, and we can save our code, run our code, and let us just, okay, here's something missing. Okay, here I have done the blunder in. Okay, now let us just simply run our code. 36, it is going to give 1 2 3 6 9. Of course it is perfectly fine. Now let's just check for 12. It is fine. Now let us just try some number like 10. It is perfect. So here is the very simple explanation of this code, and if you like this video, please make sure to subscribe to our channel, because creating this video takes lots of effort, and your like and subscribe will be highly appreciated.